if there were no alternative media and alternative platforms, very few people would know of the murder of Iryna Zarutska, a 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee in the United States who was savagely murdered by Carlos Brown Jr., a career criminal on a train. But we're dealt with two despicable actions here. Number one, it's the murder itself.
Yep.
Goes without saying. It's a horrific act.
For anyone, the video is on Twitter. Obviously, we can't show it.
Yeah.
The video is on Twitter. Like, it was yesterday. It just kept coming up in my feed repeatedly, and it's a harrowing thing to watch.
Yep.
I didn't get through the whole thing, frankly. But so obviously we're not gonna play it. But if you want to find it, you can just find it on Twitter.
Yeah. So it was the entire weekend, and the mainstream media were absolutely disgusting in how they tried to memory hole it.
Sorry, what was that? Crickets? Not a goddamn thing.
No, it's actually
Crazy.
it's incredibly infuriating because they basically try to memory hole it entirely.
Instantly.
To not talk about it, and we have Wikipedia here trying to delete it basically. It has been flanked. It says here an editor has nominated this article for deletion.
As if this isn't somehow noteworthy.
Yes, and it reminds me a lot of Wikipedia's previous CEO, who was saying that caring for the truth sometimes is an obstacle for achieving a helpful consensus. Mm-hmm. This is not helpful. The kind of consensus that is turning a blind eye to these horrific crimes is not helpful at all. It makes society worse for everyone except for criminals.
The worst part about this as well was genuinely her innocence in it. Like, she didn't even glance at the guy. She was just walking onto the train, sat down on her phone with her earbuds in, and then this guy just stabs her in the neck. Like,
as you said, we have the video here. We are not going to show it. It's incredibly distressing. I'm boiling for 2 days now. I'm boiling.
Yeah.
But I do have two captions here where he does take a knife out.
Yep.
And here is the image where he is about to strike.
Yeah, and he just,
out of nowhere. She just
right
walks into the tube. She sits down. He's behind. He takes a knife. He stands up really fastly and he stabs her. And then in the video you can see him trying to exit that wagon, and blood is dripping from the knife. It's nightmarish.
Yeah.
Another way of putting it.
And the thing is, well, sorry, can we go back to that previously, right? So I saw a bunch of people saying, see, this is why we need guards on trains. It's like, okay, a couple of things. One, we never used to need guards on trains, right? Trains used to be perfectly safe, as they always had been. But secondly, even if you had a guard on this train, this happened way too quick.
Yes.
There's, like, you wouldn't have known he was going to do something when he stands up.
I think that for me, the worst thing was she doesn't notice him. He seems to be sitting there peacefully enough.
Just look out the
sort
window.
of no reason to interact, to be concerned, etc. It comes completely out of the blue. And then you discover that this guy has had 14 arrests, many of them for pretty serious crimes, and he's always been let go.
And also, if you look at the Wikipedia page they want to delete, they point out that, was it last year or the year before, he rang up the authorities saying that he felt that someone was trying to control him. So he obviously is someone who has genuine mental health problems.
Right.
And it's like, okay, well, what do we do? Well, we put him on the streets. That's what we do.
And I'd say a sort of misplaced trust on her behalf, because I try always on trains and tubes to sit where I can see everyone.
Yeah.
That may be me.
Oh, we live in a multicultural society, Stelios.
Exactly. It shouldn't be this way. No. It really shouldn't be this way.
It didn't used to be this way.
Yeah.
Right. So here we have a really good post by Frank McCormick, who says the timeline: if a cop had shot the Carlos Brown Jr. before he had boarded the subway with a knife.
This would be the timeline if a cop had somehow shot him before he managed to stab her in the neck but had the knife coming at her.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I will say that the reaction of the mainstream establishment, the left-wing media, left-wing politicians, the way they have reacted here is absolutely appalling. And remember that during the aftermath of the events that led to the death of George Floyd. They involved mass protests, civil unrest, vandalism,
COVID disappeared.
widespread looting, economic fraud by some of the people who also were involved there. We had performative kneeling sessions of people who screamed, "I can't breathe."
In London,
it was in York where I was there.
Yeah, we had the police kneeling to the protesters during the COVID lockdowns.
Yep.
Yes.
So, like, if you'd gone out, you've got absolutely bodied by the cops, but the cops are there bending the knee to the BLM protesters.
And two more things: calls to defund the police, and also the poisoning of relations among citizens by constantly making it all about race. By constantly saying, if you don't agree with this agenda, you're a racist. And I will say this, defunding the police would not help her.
No.
Now, okay, she was murdered, but I will say the principle behind the philosophy that calls for defund the police is actually the philosophy that led him to that allowed him to fail again and again and again and again. And apparently 14 times being arrested wasn't enough for activist judges to say that he is unfit for society.
And it wasn't just that he was like stealing sweets from the shop or something. A lot of these were violent assaults or robberies with a weapon and things like this. So obviously a dangerous career criminal just on the streets though.
This is why
and schizophrenic.
3 convictions need to lead to a life sentence.
Yeah.
This is why 3 violent convictions must lead to a life sentence.
We're not talking about parking tickets here.
Yeah,
We're talking about violent offenses.
Exactly. You can't have people like that running around the street. It's just not feasible.
If they are demonstrating just schizophrenic tendencies, because the guy was literally saying something like, "There's a man-made substance that's controlling me" or something. It's like, okay, lunatic, why have we closed the asylums again? Like, if these people genuinely have, because a lot of people on one side want to say, "Oh, this is a race thing." We've got no evidence it's a race thing. Actually, we've got no evidence that he just hated white people. We do have evidence that he's a long-standing career criminal and probably mental. So why haven't we got asylums exactly? These people should be sequestered away from the main population.
Obviously.
And let us see here the disgusting double standard.
Yeah.
The Democrats did this when George Floyd overdosed, and they had totally ignored Iryna Zarutska being murdered.
It's crazy that she's like, right, the Russians can't get me now.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, well, you don't know where you've gone, do you?
Now, let's do this. We have the Associated Press writing nothing about it.
Yeah.
74,000 plus AP articles about George Floyd, 0 articles about Iryna Zarutska. And I went in and, if we do the search bar, I did it before. We don't have to do it again. But I saw
nothing on it.
There was nothing on it. And many times you put, and results do come up, but they're before the 22nd of August,
right,
where she was murdered, and they aren't about her. They're because their name Iryna is picked up. It shows up here. The New York Times, they have many results for Daniel Penny. No result.
An actual hero. Yeah,
did nothing wrong. Who was an actual hero. Exactly.
Hang on, just say they're all going to be negative about Daniel Penny as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Daniel Penny the racist, Daniel Penny the murderer, Daniel Penny this.
Exactly.
Ooh, Daniel Penny's a bad person.
Exactly.
0 for Iryna Zarutska.
Yeah. Wow. Why would the paper of record have anything to say about this?
If, Daniel Penny had been there on that train and saw this guy, he would have acted.
No doubt.
Which is the reason that they hate him.
Yep.
So here Liz Wheeler gives us extra data here about the New York Times, close to 6,000 articles about George Floyd, close to 1,200 for Trayvon Martin, 56 about Kilmore Abrego Garcia.
Which one was that one?
He is the one who was deported,
cartel people trafficker
from Venezuela.
Oh no, not deportation.
Daniel Penny 100, Iryna Zarutska 0. You get an idea. Also, CNN, the peaceful but mostly fiery but mostly peaceful BLM riots, CNN, has 0 for Iryna Zarutska. They just put it here.
Yeah, just one there.
Yeah, no, but that wasn't there.
Yeah.
Today, where I was fixing the links.
Really, that came up.
They got shamed into saying
that literally came up this morning.
That literally came up.
Yeah.
Now.
So it's been 2 days, and they were eventually like, "Yeah, that was rough."
And not just 2 days; it's 2 days where they are called out.
Yeah.
Because the murder took place on in August the 22nd.
Right.
Right. Here we have many other. Wall Street Journal. Zero articles.
Why would they write about this?
Guardian, nothing. Had to include it. The Guardian, because
of course.
Right. So the only thing that I could find was from Fox.
So this is a local Fox affiliate.
A local affiliate.
Local Fox affiliate, where they're saying Ukrainian woman who fled war stabbed to death at Charlotte Light Rail Station. Man charged with murdering Ukrainian woman Iryna Zarutska at Charlotte Transit Station as community raises for family expenses. And here we have from Wokeness a post that went viral.
Well, sorry, let's go back up. He's got to correct that. There's one CNN story now.
Yeah, there's one CNN story.
Yeah, there we go.
So 0 AP story, 0 PBS, 0 New York Times story, 0 NPR, 0 Wall Street Journal, 0 BBC, 0 CNN, 0 WAPO, 0 Reuters, 0 MSNBC. And unless I'm mistaken, I think NPR is the news outlet that the previous CEO of Wikipedia went to be a CEO.
Yes.
I take that with a pinch of salt, but she was the CEO of Wikipedia who said caring about the truth occasionally is an obstacle to
racial justice must come first, but in the framework of racial justice, this kind of thing doesn't make sense. Racial justice means zero consequences for certain communities, and all of the blame is shifted to others.
Can we go back to that second, Stelios? Let's go back to that second, because I think that's worth honing in on a second, because there is literally no advantage to them reporting this story from the perspective of intersectional social justice.
Yes.
What this shows is, yes, a black man can just turn out to be an insane schizophrenic murderer, and you, not having provoked him in any way, having done nothing at all, there is no way they can argue that she is in some way responsible for his oppression.
Yes.
She's from Ukraine.
Exactly.
She is not an American. She doesn't have a history tied to slavery, Jim Crow, civil rights, segregation, whatever it is. She's just some girl who's fled a war. She gets on the train, she's done nothing wrong, and he murders her for reasons that we're not entirely sure of yet.
Yep.
So there is just nothing, absolutely nothing in the oppressor-oppressed victimology dynamic that they can report on to make the majority white population of America seem like bad people here.
Yes.
This just makes him and his community and the power structures that allow him to operate in society to be the bad people, which is why they're like, yep, zip, absolutely nothing on this one, guys. Nothing to see here. This is not interesting to us at all.
It's exactly right.
Right. The Daily Mail had an article on the 26th of August. We should commend them for this, where they're talking about the appalling past of serial criminal accused of murdering Ukrainian woman who fled for safety there. And they say here
there's always mugshots.
14 times arrested.
Yeah.
And they are basically saying that he was convicted when he assaulted his sister in Charlotte. When he went out, he was released. That same month, he was also arrested for injury to personal property and trespassing. He's a career criminal. Yeah. Career criminal. Right. So we have him several mugshots. Also, it's weird. They say that they have a mugshot of someone else who isn't him.
Yeah.
And this goes out viral, but
it's a guy who just have the same name.
Doesn't change things. So what we have to say here about there's a question here about what kind of failure must take place and what are the levels of failure that must take place in order for something like this to happen. And I think some people are saying something sensible, is that, there's basically zero accountability for activist judges.
Yes.
They can practice and apply the CRT philosophy you just mentioned, according to which the most oppressed people are always perennially victims of structures that override their agency, thus leaving them with zero blame for their actions. These people, they're not held accountable by anyone.
But also, okay, let's take them at their word. So it's the structures of society. Well, is it not the people who occupy the power structures in society then that are responsible for this guy murdering by their own philosophy? if that's the case, if he is just a victim of the way that society is racist towards him, then it's got to be the judges, it's got to be the social workers, it's got to be all of these people who are therefore held accountable for his behavior in society. Because otherwise...
follow-up questions that make this very uncomfortable.
Exactly. And so the Soros-funded activist judges, yeah, they are responsible for this.
Yes.
They did this.
And the sad thing is that we are not talking about a failure of the judicial system alone. We are talking about a total failure on all levels. It's not just the judicial system, it's also the political system, it's the educational system, and also the issue of administrating justice across the board. And let me give you an example. The mayor of Charlotte told people not to repost things for safety.
Yep.
So safety she cares only about the appearance of safety, not actual safety.
Yeah.
So what she says, I want to thank our media partners and community members who have chosen not to repost or share the footage.
Thank you, media partners.
I think partners is carrying a lot of, doing a lot of heavy lifting.
I think it's actually something of a big reveal, isn't it?
Yes.
Like the media partners, the fourth estate, who are there to hold the powerful to account.
Yeah.
There are partners.
There are partners. They should be rivals. They should be those people who are a real pain in the rear.
This is what we were told about Bob Woodward and all of that stuff.
Indeed. This was the narrative. This is how the media found its legitimacy in the first place.
Democracy dies in darkness.
Blah, and that's what I heard, yeah.
And so here we are. There's nothing being reported about the story. They bury it, and they're even criticizing people who do report it.
Yep.
And look at how infuriating this is. She says, I've been thinking hard about what safety really looks like in our city. I remain committed to doing all we can to protect our residents and ensure Charlotte is a place where everyone feels safe. Total nonsense. Yeah. Total nonsense. And I'd say this is to a degree, this is malicious because
not to a degree. Yeah. This is malicious, full stop.
100%.
Look, safety looks like her sitting on the train comfortably, unbothered by the people around her. Complete lack of safety looks literally like that.
What she wants is the illusion of safety Iryna had.
Yes, so exactly.
This is genuinely abominable because, of course, the mayor is going to be chauffeured around in a bulletproof car.
Yep.
Right? She's going to be taken around to wherever she wants to go. She never has to use public transport. She's never in danger of the anarcho-tyranny created by the Soros judges releasing career criminals and mentally ill vagrants who will just randomly stab you in the throat. She's in no danger of that at all. And so instead of saying we need to make sure our city is safe, because of course the is safe would mean, oh right, well, get the mentally ill vagrants off the streets. That's Bukele, the lot of them. It's 1% who are going to be responsible for all of the violent crimes.
Yep.
Let's just lock them up. We need to get them off the streets.
FAFO. It's simple. She doesn't need to think
but
hard.
hang on, but look at what she's done here, right? Instead, you feel safe when you are safe. That's why you feel safe. If you don't feel safe, it's because you're not safe.
You can have the illusion of safety.
Hang on. That's the point. That's exactly the point, right? When I go to some, like tiny little village in England and I'm wandering around, I am safe. Like there's no question of it, where it's just like, the average age is like 60 and I walk past a little deer and like, good morning. And, I'm on the way to the shop or something. I am safe. So I don't need to worry about feeling safe.
Yep.
It would be irrational not to feel safe. But she said, no, that's actually something we've decided is not social justice, right?
Yes.
You being safe is not social justice. But I can't guarantee your safety. However, we can try and make sure you feel safe. It's like, okay, well, how are you going to do that? Well, I'm going to do that by essentially censoring information and making sure that you aren't really aware the level of danger that you're in. So it's the hyper narrative of safety over the reality of the danger that you're in is what she's trying to impose on you from the comfort and absolute safety of her guarded bulletproof car.
Exactly. I couldn't agree with you more.
I hate it so much.
And the issue is that the philosophy of punishment and blame and responsibility behind this is entirely a laxury belief. It is it is the philosophy of people who are shielded from the consequences of the policy they advocate for.
It's not just luxury belief, it's also punitive. It is intended to punish certain groups of people.
Yeah.
And that is not separable from it. And it is intended to say that, look, you guys carry generational guilt, a form of original sin, and they don't, and therefore you must put up with their misbehavior.
If it was a white guy who had been 14 times violent thug, Would he be let out repeatedly? Probably.
No, and it wouldn't be communicated as an isolated incident of someone with mental illness. We would constantly be talking about, be bombarded with narratives of far-right extremists, racist epidemics.
Which is what happened with Daniel Penny.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what happened with Daniel Penny.
Yes.
He
it will happen again
he stopped
when
this
there's
kind of thing from happening.
From the other side.
And he was the problem. Even though if you watch the video with Daniel Penny, everyone in the carriage is on his side.
Yeah.
Because this guy is intimidating everyone. He's in everyone's face. It looks like he's about to do so. It looks like he could pull out a knife and just stab someone in the neck. And so like in black and white, everyone in the carriage is on Daniel Penny's side for a reason.
Yes.
Sorry.
And the failure isn't just political and a failure of activist judges. It's also educational. Here we have an excellent post by Frank McCormick again. I included two of his because he did an excellent job here. He says, I was a public school teacher in the hood for 11 years, and I know this type of kid, the type that would smack the kid sitting in front of him, tell the teacher, I don't give a F, when corrected, and ruin an entire year's of worth of learning for the entire class. His special education teachers would describe him as actually very smart with a lot of potential. Despite him failing every class and scoring a 9 on the ACT, there would be countless meetings with him and his mom and the social workers, psychologists, and principal would speak in soft voices and nod and smile when the kid told them he wants to be a doctor. They design all sorts of ridiculous accommodations that give him ample room to behave. However, he wanted and terrorized his teachers and peers with minimal consequences. Teachers would spend the entire class trying to rein in his behavior, and when they called security to remove him, they have to evacuate the entire class first. He'd rarely receive any consequences, and so on and so on and so forth.
See, if this kind of behavior was just met with the birch, with a whipping from the earliest years, you're 5 years old, you're acting out, and there's no, you get thrashed across the back of your legs, that'll put you in your place, and you will be on a completely different road where oh no, actually I'll just get thrashed if I do this. Yeah. So I'm not going to do it. And it would be that simple. That's how you prevent this kind of behavior.
I think we have the worst of both worlds because my PhD is on moral responsibility. It's precisely
thrashing naughty kids with birches.
Exactly. It's on the FA strong card of the FAFO club. Card carrying member. But point is, there is a philosophy of constantly trying to absolve people from blame and say that a justice system needs to be humane and needs to constantly absolve people from responsibility. Yes, but we have what Firas said before. We have a left that says this for my friends and constant blame for my enemies. Yep. Ridiculous. So
my friends, everything for my enemies, the law.
Exactly. And I won't say by the sword of Ronin, that was a reply of his to me, said, and he perfectly captures this philosophy: the underdog is always righteous, justified, and unable to do any wrong, is one of the most damaging infantile assumptions that has been imposed in our society. But Democrats, leftists, and he puts within parentheses, especially women, that's exactly why criminals are deified and regular people are villainized.
I mean, they did present George Floyd as a saint.
Yeah. Society
requires literal saint. Appearing as a saint. That's exactly what they did.
So society, to thrive, require, and to basically function, not just thrive, to function. Society requires reliable citizens, not people who are career criminals, who are able to engage in conflict resolution that is peaceful without acting like in such ways. Yep. In cases even where there isn't conflict.
There's no conflict here.
And also, it requires citizens and a political leadership that is able to enforce the laws by force if necessary.
Yep. Yes,
absolutely. That's it. Leftism is an assault on this. It's incredibly destructive and anti-civilization. And I'll say, never forget the people who called for the defunding of the police. Never forget them.
Yeah.
And never forget Iryna.
Who are the men that pick for scraps amongst the ruins at the end of history? You should know, because you encounter them every day. Between the towering buildings of a fallen empire, we find the Fellahin, the historyless men, who know nothing of the turning of the cosmic wheel and find themselves outside of civilization itself. Cut loose from the great chain of being, they represent the loam into which our dying culture will return. That is, unless we choose to take up the burden once again. This Fellahin condition is the subject we explore in issue 4 of Islander magazine, on sale while stocks last and available worldwide at shop.lotuseaters.com.